As anticipation continues to build at the Republican National Convention for Donald Trump's acceptance speech, Wisconsin delegates are being told not to believe President Biden's struggles the past few weeks are anything to be excited about.
The fact of the matter is, people are looking at all these stories about Joe Biden and how screwed up the Democrats are and assuming that's advantage Republican. It's not, because it doesn't matter. What matters, the end game here, is winning the election in November.
Those concerns about November also stressed by Reince Priebus, former chair of the Republican National Committee and Wisconsin native.
We don't have a national election for president. We have an election in 6 states that will determine who wins this election.
One of those states is Wisconsin, and while Democrats are facing uncertainty inside the party about backing President Joe Biden, state party officials want the focus to stay on Trump and his past policies they consider extreme.
I want to see whether Donald Trump apologizes for totally botching the nation's response to the COVID pandemic and leading to a loss of jobs during his presidency. I want to see whether Donald Trump finally acknowledges that he lost Wisconsin in 2020 and commits to accepting the results of the election in 2024, whether he wins or loses.
Trump's speech is scheduled to start right around 9:30. Local delegates from our area will have a front row seat. I'll share more of what they have to say about the experience tonight at 6. Reporting live at the RNC in Milwaukee, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.